Labor-endorsed candidate Governor Ted Strickland stopped by the United Steelworkers Local 979 Hall in Cleveland last Monday to talk with union members about the choice Ohioans face in this upcoming election.
I want to thank all of you, regardless of what particular union you belong to. We are all family. We're all in this together. And we all have a responsibility to each other and to our communities and to our state.
Steelworkers District 1 Director Dave McCall and Tim Berga of the Ohio AFL-CIO opened the event by detailing Governor Strickland's support for working families.
Unlike his opponent in this upcoming election, one who has supported Wall Street, one who has supported big business that wants unfair trade. Our governor is much different. Our governor stands on the side of workers, entrepreneurs, and business that want to play fair on a level playing field. That's Governor Ted Strickland.
I can tell you that every day that goes by, whether it's support for prevailing wage, whether it's support for fair trade, whether it's support for collective bargaining, whether it's support for union shop state, everywhere along the line, Governor Strickland has been with us, and are we going to remember that this fall?
Yes. Certainly supported us on our issues, the steelworker issues and the AFL-CIO issues, in terms of NAFTA. And I'll never forget sitting in his office in Washington and him making it very clear. He was not a protectionist. He believed in fair trade, as we do as well.
Right.
But his concern was about the unfair trade and the fact that NAFTA didn't have the protections that were required in order for us to have responsible trade with our trading partners all around the world. So he's not a protectionist. He's somebody that believes in fairness, somebody that believes in dignity and equity. And that's Governor Ted Strickland.
Berga also emphasized that the economic woes in Ohio are the result of Wall Street and anti-working family policies created under Republican administrations in Ohio and at the federal level.
But because of the blueprint that started out under Ronald Reagan in 1980, was perfected under guys like Newt Gingrich and Tom DeLay, and was carried out to corrupt efficiencies such as George Bush in the 16 years of Republican rule in this state, we now find ourselves in an unfortunate economic position that those in organized labor have been saying is coming all along. When you support a Wall Street economy instead of a worker economy, when you do nothing about the rising cost for health care, when you turn a blind eye at Davis-Bacon and prevailing wage, when you don't stand up for living wage and fair wage, when you privatize everything you can get your hands on, simply to bring a greater share of investments to the investor class and take care of the multinational corporations, this is what happens. We take no pleasure in saying that we were right about this. So Governor Strickland, President Obama are now left to turn course.
Governor Strickland told union members that his administration has worked tirelessly to turn Ohio's economy around by helping to push through the first state stimulus plan passed in the country, instituting policies to save and create jobs across the state, and passing education reform.
So let me tell you briefly what we've tried to do during this recession. We were the first state in America that passed our own stimulus bill. Long before the federal government did, we passed a $1.57 billion stimulus bill. Resources that even today are going into new energy initiatives and new transportation initiatives and other job-creating initiatives. We've continued to invest in programs like the Third Frontier, which create jobs. We have over 65,500 more of our students enrolled at our colleges and universities than we had just 3 years ago. We've invested in job training for more than 150,000 Ohioans in the last 3 years. We've invested in our schools. We did freeze tuition for 2 years. We have reformed K through 12 education. Our public education system now, as a result of our reforms, is rated the 5th best in the country and the best in the Midwest.
He also highlighted his opponent John Kasich's Wall Street values and long record of supporting anti-worker policies.
And John Kasich is the guy who cares about Wall Street.
That's right.
It's been his history since he's been a congressman, a Fox News commentator, a managing director at Lehman Brothers. He was a congressman with Wall Street values long before he went to Wall Street. Why were those jobs lost? Because of Wall Street. And who was working on Wall Street during the time that those decisions were made? It was John Kasich, working for Lehman Brothers, perhaps the greatest offender on Wall Street, the company that represents the largest bankruptcy in American history, a bankruptcy that cost our public pensions in Ohio over $400 million lost because of the bankruptcy of Lehman Brothers. I voted no on NAFTA. He voted yes. I remember when we had the vote on granting most favored nation trade status to China. He voted yes on that. I voted no. He was an outsourcer as a congressman. When he was the budget director in the House, he submitted a budget that eliminated trade adjustment assistance. You know what that is. Sadly, too many people in Ohio know what that is. Trade adjustment assistance is the program that was designed to help people who had lost their jobs because of trade. John Kasich wanted to get rid of that program.
The governor is currently in a tight race with Kasich. That is why, said the speakers, union voter mobilization through the Labor 2010 program is so important this year.
Now what do we need? We need your support. We need your activism. We need your energy. We need to make sure that all our friends and neighbors and coworkers understand that apathy is our enemy. We have to get out and vote. We have to make sure that all over this state, people hear the word that Ted Strickland stands for us.
If Labor goes out and works again this year, Labor will make the difference in doing the right thing and re-electing Governor Strickland.